Hallo und herzlich willkommen, ich bin euer Mr. Venom 1974, wir sind bei Gabriel Knight 20th Anniversary Edition Sins of a Fathers. So, diesen Fritzen kriegen wir wohl erstmal nicht weg. Aber trotzdem werden wir jetzt einfach mal gucken, dass wir jetzt mal versuchen, was zum Armreif zu machen und dass wir Mosley auf jeden Fall bekehren, du Spinner, dass die Voodoo-Morde echt sind. So weit sind wir ja schon.
I've got some things I need to do.
Good luck.
Ja, und ich würde jetzt eigentlich die Polizei rufen für den komischen Freak da. Aha, Napoleons Hauskneipe. Ja, dann wollen wir noch mal. Wenn wir das neu haben. Okay.
The Napoleon House is one of the quarter's very old, very classic neighborhood bars and restaurants. Gabriel is found here frequently. A street drummer has found a spot outside the Napoleon House.
Ja, klar, die sind komischerweise überall.
It's
Logisch.
a bust of Napoleon. How apropos. If Gabriel tried to take the head, Stonewall would be on him like ducks on a June bug.
Ich glaube, der wird mir das sehr übernehmen.
A chandelier cast a dim glow over the room. Gabriel and the bartender are old pals. His name is Stonewall King, and he knows everybody around here.
Das ist bestimmt gut.
The bar is a 19th century antique in lovingly polished walnut.
Na gut, das ist nicht so spannend.
A young man is deep in conversation with his girlfriend and feeling no pain.
Kann man ja bestimmt anlabern. Froder sieht bestimmt.
Can I ask you some questions?
I'm trying to be with my lady here, pal.
Far be it from me to stand in the way of romance.
This isn't that kind of bar. A young woman is enjoying drinks with her boyfriend.
Kinda cute. Nah,
Zu jung oder was?
better not. Her boyfriend doesn't look too friendly. Hey, how's it going?
Could you excuse us? We're talking here.
A man in a loud tie stares morosely at a chessboard.
Das ist Sam.
Excuse me, I hate to interrupt your game, but could I ask you a few questions?
What game? This ain't a game, it's a slaughter.
He's right, you know. So let me die in peace, would you?
Okay.
A sharp-eyed gentleman in a gray sport coat hunches over a chessboard, chuckling to himself.
Sorry to bother you, but could I ask you a few questions?
I'm not the chatty type, am I, Sam?
No, you old bastard, you're not.
Besides, I'm busy sucking poor old Sam dry. Go bug someone else.
You're a real sweetheart, Marcus, you bastard.
Okay. Das hilft uns nicht so sehr. Was erzählt Ihnen der Barmann? Der Barmann weiß doch mit Sicherheit alles.
Could I ask you a few questions?
Sure. I'm not too busy at the moment.
What can you tell me about voodoo?
Voodoo? Don't believe in it myself. I invented a drink once called Laveau's Tomb, but it wasn't very popular. Some people do believe, though. Even some of our regulars here at Napoleon House.
Okay.
What do you know about the voodoo murders?
It's all over the papers. Some kind of serial killings.
Das ist richtig.
What do you know about the voodoo murders?
They say a lot of voodoo stuff is found near the bodies.
Das ist soweit richtig.
What do you know about the voodoo murders?
Everybody's talking about it. It's starting to scare off the tourists.
What can you tell me about New Orleans?
Greatest city in the world. I'd never want to live anywhere else.
What can you tell me about New Orleans?
This city must get about 1 million tourists a year, especially around Mardi Gras.
Das glaube ich.
What can you tell me about New Orleans?
A lot of people come here because they think it's mysterious. All that talk about voodoo.
Ich glaube, so ist es in Transsilvanien wahrscheinlich auch.
What can you tell me about New Orleans?
You should probably find a book on the subject, you know?
Ich arbeite dran, ich schreibe gerade eins.
What's the significance of St. John's Eve?
All I know is it's some kind of voodoo holiday.
What's the significance of St. John's Eve?
People who believe in that stuff think it's a real special night. Magical.
Do you know anything about snakes?
What about them?
No, just anything.
You ask the weirdest questions. I don't know anything about snakes.
Okay.
Have you ever heard of Marie Laveau?
Sure. She's kind of the patron saint of voodoo in New Orleans. Don't know too much about her, but the tourists sure get off on all that stuff.
Have you ever heard of Marie Laveau?
There's a voodoo museum in town. They'd know more about it than I do.
Die waren aber nicht sehr hilfreich.
Do you know anything about animal masks?
Come Mardi Gras, you see all kinds of masks in here.
Die meine ich nicht.
Do you know anything about black voodoo?
Black voodoo? No. I prefer not to think about that kind of stuff, personally. Crime, perversion, weirdos. Just makes me depressed.
Verständlich. Wo hat er denn jetzt eigentlich schwarzes Voodoo her?
Does the name Ogun Badagri mean anything to you?
Never heard of it.
Have you ever heard of Damballa?
Never heard of it.
Can you tell me anything about a secret voodoo houndfall?
Are you kidding? Around here? Hope they aren't serving drinks.
Well, if they are, I don't think anyone in his right mind would want one.
That's schön.
Does the phrase Capri Sanko mean anything to you?
Never heard of it.
Dass er jetzt sagt, ist das ein Getränk?
Tell me about yourself.
A good bartender listens to other people's life stories without telling his own.
Richtig. Macht er auch. Gut.
Hi, how's it going?
It's been worse.
Business picking up?
Some. Mostly locals, as usual.
You ever get tired of tending bar for a living?
Never thought much about doing anything else.
The weather's pretty crappy out there today.
I wouldn't know. I never get out of here before dark.
This looks like a lively crowd.
Lively crowds are trouble. These guys just sit and drink. That makes me happy.
Und reich.
Tell me about the street musicians around here.
I like music as much as the next guy, but they get pretty monotonous sometimes, you know? Like that drummer right outside. They say there's been a drummer outside Napoleon House since the day it opened. Now, I like drums, but this character really gets on my nerves. It sounds like the same thing over and over. I just want to say enough already.
Sounds like my life. Tell me about the street musicians around here.
Don't know what else I could say.
Okay, aber auf jeden Fall spielt immer das monotone Lied. Sollten wir uns schon mal merken.
What can you tell me about your regulars in here?
See those old guys at the chess table? That's Sam and Marcus. They've played there every day for 20 years. Sam, the one with the purple jacket, he's lost every one of those games. It's not that he's a bad player. I've seen him beat guys twice as good as Marcus. But Marcus has Sam so psyched out, he loses his nerve every time. By the way, Sam, the chess player, he's into that voodoo stuff. He's always talking about spells and gree-gree and such.
Really? Thanks. So what has Sam told you about voodoo?
Well, about 50 years ago, Sam was too shy to talk to this pretty girl he was in love with. He went to a voodoo-ien and had her make him a love charm. It was a little pouch that he had to bury under the girl's front porch. Well, he buried the pouch, and the next day he went up and talked to the girl. And sure enough, she didn't reject him. Now she's his wife, poor guy.
Okay, also der steht auf Voodoo und ich denke mal... Ist das nicht der? Ich gucke gleich nochmal in die Zeitung. Ach, das können wir dann sofort machen. Wer bist du denn?
Hey kids! Bruno! How nice.
Wer bist du denn? Wer bist du?
Gee, a customer.
Of yours? Hardly.
How's the flower business?
Ach, der ist der
Better than the
Nachbarladen.
used book business, I see.
Rare books.
That explains why I so rarely see anyone in here.
Arschloch.
Are you gonna sell me that wonderful painting of yours today?
Wir brauchen Geld, ne?
How much would you give me for it?
Oh, you're serious? You'll let me have it?
Gabriel, don't you dare sell your father's painting.
Yeah, I'll let you have it all right. How much for the painting?
Well, I could give you 100.
That's all I can let go at the moment, you know. My affairs are so tied up.
Gabriel, $100 for your father's painting?
Stay out of this, Grace.
Fällt euch was auf? 100? 100? Dann weiß ich, was wir mit den 100 gleich machen.
Fine. It's yours.
Gabriel!
Here's the 100.
Dann besuchen wir nämlich jetzt gleich einen Voodoo-Shop.
You better take good care of this, Bruno. This is not just another of your hip art pieces, you know.
Really? Well, I fully intend to make the most of its display. Though not for your sake, I'm sure. At least in my shop, there'll be a chance of someone actually seeing it.
Ist ja auch ein ganz liebreizendes Gemälde.
I can't believe I actually got it. Just wait until I show Sid.
Wer auch immer Sid ist. Grüß mal Sid.
I don't believe you.
It's just a painting, Grace. There are things I have to do.
So, apro things I have to do. Ich will mal was jetzt haben. So, ich will mal eben was gucken. Sam. Ich will mal eben was wissen.
Time stated.
Halt die Fresse.
Gabriel's death was
Peachy.
Gabriel.
Sam Sprinkleton. Welcher Zufall, da heißt jemand Sam. Dann würde ich sagen, machen wir das doch jetzt mal eben als Quest. Dann fahren wir da eben zum Voodoo-Museum. Holen uns die Maske.
Good luck.
Und gucken mal, ob wir noch irgendwie Kleinkram kriegen. Um dem zum Gewinnen zu verhelfen. Oder beziehungsweise ihm irgendein Mittelchen zu geben. So. Wenn ich das Geld direkt gebe, kriege ich das?
Would you take 50 for Willie Jr.?
Don't insult me, monsieur. The price is $120.
What? You said you'd sell it for 100 before.
You misheard, monsieur.
Can I ask you just a few more questions? Would you take 50 for...
Don't...
What?
Wie mache ich das denn jetzt? Sonderangebot zum Johannistag kostenlos.
What would Gabriel?
Would you take 50 for Willie Jr.?
Don't insult...
What?
You...
To get the mask, Gabriel would have to buy it.
Ja, ich bin gerade dabei. Aber wieso will er denn jetzt auf einmal 120 haben, der Vogel?
The proprietor doesn't look especially friendly. His business probably doesn't depend on walk-ins.
Wieso kann ich das denn nicht kaufen? Das versteht ja keiner. Muss ich da irgendwas drauflegen?
Can I ask you... Would you take 50?
Don't...
What?
Tja.
Willie looks ready to defend.
Naja, es ist mir schon klar.
That doesn't work that way.
Would you take 50 for Willie Jr.?
Don't insult...
What?
You misheard, monsieur.
Das verstehe ich nicht. Das verstehe ich nicht. Komm, gehen wir noch eben zum Polizeirevier und dann beenden wir auch die Folge. Und dann gehe ich mal in mich. Warum will er die 100 Euro? Quatsch, 100 Euro. 100 Dollar nicht haben. Verstehe ich nicht. Verstehe ich nicht. Nicht doof?
Hate to tell you this, but you're out of a book. The Voodoo-Murders case has been closed.
I had a feeling you were gonna say that. Son of a bitch.
Die Musik ist geil, ja.
I have to tell you, bud, I'm pretty pissed off about this case being closed. You guys are making a big mistake.
Hey, I'm not any happier about it than you are, Knight, but I've got my orders.
How can I convince you to reopen the case?
Look, the department's not interested.
So, couldn't you make them interested?
With what? I got 7 bodies and still no leads. The voodoo angle's worthless, and besides, these people aren't hurting anybody but out-of-town drug dealers and hitmen.
The voodoo stuff is not worthless. It's the key to the whole thing. And these people are dangerous. They need to be stopped.
Okay, you want me to reopen this case? Prove what you just said.
What do you mean?
You need to prove that there's a legitimate voodoo cult in Narland. Prove that they're a threat. Get me a lead on the cult.
Okay.
How can I convince you to reopen the case?
I already told you. You still need to prove that...
Okay, also 3 Sachen brauchen wir. Warte mal. Den Artikel können wir Ihnen schon mal zeigen. Der zeigt ja schon mal aus, dass es kein Einzelfall ist.
This is a newspaper clipping about a murder committed in 1810. That murder is an exact match of the voodoo murders, right down to the marks around the bodies.
This does sound like the same M.O. 1810.
1810. They killed then, they're killing now. Isn't that proof that they're likely to kill again? Or that they are a threat?
Sure, if there is a voodoo cult, they're a threat.
Okay, das reicht ihm nicht. Ah, gibt auf jeden Fall Punkte dafür, also war das gar nicht so schlecht. Kann er damit was anfangen?
You know those marks you found around the murder victims?
Yeah.
This is a reconstruction of the whole pattern.
What makes you think this is an accurate reconstruction?
Well, I borrowed the partial patterns from your police file and did my own tracing of the pattern at Lake Poacher Train. An architectural artist reconstructed it for me from the partials.
Really? So this is the whole pattern, huh? That's pretty good work, Knight, but that doesn't prove that this pattern is really connected to voodoo.
Du bist ein echter Polizist. Am besten löse ich dir den kompletten Fall und dann sagst du mir, ja, hast recht. Waren Voodoo-Morde jetzt, wo du sagst. Voodoo-Code, der wird mir wahrscheinlich nichts bringen. Können wir aber auch nochmal geben.
That doesn't prove anything.
Gut. Tja. Sprachzeug. Wir können aber erstmal... Stimmt, wir haben mit Grace noch gar nicht gequatscht. Und da könnten wir jetzt, glaube ich, hin, ne? Das ist... Ach so, das ist auch schon offen. Okay. Gut, aber das machen wir... Da, boah, ich habe schon wieder so viele Möglichkeiten. Freunde der Nacht. So, kurz dahin.
Hello, beautiful. It's me.
Erstmal mit
The
Grace.
excitement of seeing you is killing me.
Das glaube ich. Bringt dich um, Hase, ha? Sowas nennt man ja auch den kleinen Tod. Oder verstehst du, was ich meine? Da würde ich sagen, können wir hier die Folge beenden. Ich bin euer Mr. Venom 1974 und wenn ihr Spaß hattet, dann bitte abonnieren, kommentieren, bewerten und dann geht es in der nächsten Folge weiter. Und dann werde ich Grace mal wieder auf den Zahn fühlen. Nur für euch, Hasis. Wir sehen uns. Bis dann. Tschüss.